do a quick TikTok then. Guys and girls, we are live on the Red app. You can find the link in the bio. You get a full screen view rather than the standard telephone view. Of course, you can see my sexy self in the bottom corner. Make sure you come over and join us. If not, I'll see you guys on Tuesday for our TikTok stream. Okay, we're in. We are in. Bullish across the board with that. Apologies if that was a bit loud then. Okay, right, let's run down what we're looking at today on these pairs. Okay, so good news for GU. GU is already in a bearish move. $15-minute is also bearish as well. This is good. And now we're just waiting for that 1 minute shift, which is here. This looks good, chat. This looks good, can't lie. And then we also have an early entry point, which is here. Validation would need to be a close below this low. Gosh. Okay. Let's turn that down a smidge. How do I share this? 6'4", full of muscles. I said, do you speak my language? Yeah. Hey kitty, what's happening? Can't see what I'm doing, girl. We had to tap into the early entry point, which is here. This is actually really clean. I mean, we don't really have a huge move, but a move is a move, nevertheless. What do I do? You're gonna pull the headphones, girl? Oh, that was close. Sticky situation. Okay. Without my Harley pants, I'm like a dog without a bone. Sticky situation. Okay, so what we're looking for a close below here, close below, which looks likely from where we are at the moment. And then we'll look to track it potentially shifting back into the highs again. So we'll see what we get. What's going on? Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to the YouTube stream. The YouTube streams are notoriously slow compared to the TikTok streams. So if you are over from TikTok, it isn't the same environment at all, but YouTube don't really put you on. You know, TikTok do. TikTok put you on a lot. YouTube, not so much. But we don't need tons of people in to give you guys some good content, just like the stream yesterday. Not stream yesterday, stream on Wednesday. The stream on Wednesday, we had 2 entries that we showed live that were beautiful entries, and I know there was a lot of people that did actually benefit a lot from that, so it's good. That's the main thing, and it's on record, which is again another win. So if you want to go and watch that, you can. We are streaming from home today. So easily. Trading when economic data is out. So it's not a tricky question. So that's not a tricky question, but generally for me, I tend to just avoid being involved in the market when the data is being released. Outside of it, you can trade as you were, you know, you can just trade as you want to. So obviously in an hour we've got core inflation, and then in 2 hours and a half we've got the Michigan consumer sentiment, home sales, S&P Global. So we do have, you know, a few different things that are playing into like the market directional movement, but we should just trade within the parameters that we know as our rule set, and then just trade it as we would, you know. Just avoid trading from that exact point when the data is being released. Okay, so we have validated downside here. Now it's all valid to go short, essentially. Anywhere within this region is where we can expect price to sell from. We already had the early sell-off that we spoke about, which was from here, from this level. Price literally revisited it and sold away beautifully. So even if you just caught that initial early move, that in itself is a good move. But now we are validating that on the 1 minute, so you can look to trade out of here into some of the lows. Now, of course, be aware that we don't have excuse me, we don't have like crazy targets. The closest target for us is here, so we're not looking for like crazy moves. We're just looking for literally a short move that looks something like this. It's only a 1 to 1.5, so for myself it's not really that viable. I know some of you guys are selling on a smaller time frame and stuff like that, so that's all good. The only viable move really was that initial move that we had there. Everything else is a little bit chunky, but we have validated downside, so downside movement is the more likely. Campus. Okay. Welcome in everybody. Guys, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Obviously this is YouTube, so we do have subscribe buttons, not follow buttons, like we do on TikTok. And we can also do things like this. You know what I mean? So we've got a couple of different bits and bobs here on the YouTube, but we are looking to integrate some of this stuff into the TikToks. I think it would be quite a good element to add in, you know? A little bit more enjoyment. Okay, we got our close below here. That's great. We can start looking now. Is this our low? No. That's a shame. This would be the point that we'd look for validation here. Is that GU scenario that you just described, would it make sense to put the stop loss closer to the BOS or just a better R? So there is no breaker structure because we don't use breaks of structure in the principles that we trade. It might look like a breaker structure if you were to reference it like that, but we're using the Wyckoff theory. So what we do is we locate counter directional movements. In some cases it may be a high or low in structural reference, but then we use it to track validity of order flow essentially. So if orders are flowing back into the market from this area and price, you know, visits it and then goes higher, then we would just look for a continuation up to the previous high. If it comes below the area, and the area isn't always based around the lowest point of that movement itself, sometimes it can be you know, based further back or further forwards, but if we come and we close below it, it tells us that the orders aren't entering here, which means that you're more valid to move into the direction that that is closing above or below. So obviously we use this in conjunction with our bias to then have more validation on a movement in our direction. If that makes sense. But personally, I would probably just wait. If you are going to trade it, just wait for it to get in here and then like see if you can track a shift and then sell it from that move rather than try and be the retrace sort of trade. Let me see. Okay, look at that. That's great. Right, so we just closed above this high. That's perfect. Now, this is your entry point. That's your entry point. Of course, and like I said before, feel free to give us a follow on TikTok, give us a follow here, whatever, if you're not already. And then you can take notes and learn the system yourself. The remixer. Big swisher. Yes, sir. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. So it's Funky Fridays. We are live. What's happened? Alright. Damn. Actually, I want to listen to that tune. Yeah, this one. Okay, so where we are currently means we can look to validate that essentially. In the small drawers, I think, in the other room. Really with the girl phone, hello. Really on a midnight. Don't mix it with that booty. Wait a minute, why is the spread so high on that? What's everyone's spread like on Euro right now? It's not high on my Vantage account, but it is high on the Aqua Funded account. That's crazy high. this right here is handmade. Smoking weed again. Onto the 2-1-0. Just not gonna tag me in, no? They like it. Yeah. Perfect. Everything we love. Yeah, so we'll leave that. We'll come back to that. GU just continues to sell off, which is fine. Okay, we validated on the 15, which is great. We validated on the 5-minute, which is also good. We have validated on the 1-minute, but we're looking for a confirmation. Looks decent. How is everyone? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. If you see the data underneath my image right here, that is the COT data for each pair. So each time we go onto a different pair, you're going to see that data change. And that data, that data is going to give you an idea as to what the institutional bias is and the probability of the movement direction for that pair. It's not like a true gauge of it's definitely going to sell or buy, but like let's say we have a bias of going long, for example, and then the institute have more of a bias to buy or sell a certain asset, which should give you or could give you that movement, then it becomes something that is a lot more viable. You guys hear me all right? I'm pretty sure you can, right? Alright, so this looks like it might fail on us. But that's fine. And I've said this before, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. If it fails, it fails at the end of the day. Just a 2R, really small return on that. It's nothing too crazy. Let's go to gold. I'm interested to see what gold's doing. We actually had an entry for this morning here on the 15-second within the one. Which was a close below here, so entry would have been here, stop loss would have gone above this high, but we weren't on the charts quick enough and we didn't take it, but we actually had a pretty decent entry there and beautiful move to the downside as well. But if we how's everyone's week been? Hopefully good. Ooh. Here to here, then to here, then we close out right here, the 15-minute, then we come back above the previous, close again, and that leaves us in a large bullish directional movement. Pretty similar to what we had yesterday. Obviously this doesn't really help us too much because we'd rather see bearish price action. But then if we go down to the 5, we look what's happening on the 5, you can see it's a similar thing as well. So all of the current directional bias is dictated by this low point right now. That's the point that we're referencing from. Maybe even on the 1, yeah, on the 1 minute as well, it's the same thing. So the same point is referencing every time frame here on Euro. So at the moment, we would expect a bullish shift to take place, but we're bearish on it. So instead of trying to anticipate something that we don't really want to trade, we'll just wait for it to line up with what we would like to trade. If we're looking on the 15-second here, the previous point was here, and then we chopped about quite a lot. We went bearish once, twice, 3 times, 4 times at this low. So really, a bearish move could occur from here, potentially, but chances are we're going to see a bullish shift. So because we're looking for that bullish shift, instead of trying to hunt into the bearishness that we're not going to look for because everything else is bullish, we're going to look for that bullish shift, right? So from this point, we can reference here, if we see a close above this high, we would expect a continuation of the price action here, right? That's what we'd expect to see. Five people in there right now. Have you all hit that like button? That's the question I want to know. I see 2 likes right now, so I feel like we need to have a little bit more tapping of that screen going on. Tapping that thumbs up button. Did Euro play lower? Yeah, that's going to take us out. Look at that. Shee, coming right down. But that's fine. If it takes us out, it takes us out. This is the reason why we use stop losses. Stop losses are there to catch the losses before they go too far. And we shouldn't be scared of our stop losses being hit. What we definitely shouldn't do is revolve our data and everything we do around avoiding stop losses. Which I know a lot of traders spend their time doing. You know, a lot of traders really spend their time trying to avoid all possible losses, when in reality, you have to lose to win. You can't win without having losses. Just it's the way of life. It has to happen. Okay, so from here, that moves down. That moves down. Same rule applies. Big bet. God ain't got no answer. Looking for Euro Chef shorts, a bit late for me. Yeah, if it's a bit late in the day, best thing to do is just don't trade it. Like, you don't want to force something. That's when things start going wrong. When you force things to happen, that's when you start having a non-data-based sort of reaction to your actions, you know. All of our actions, we want to see it being data-based. Right, so we've closed above here. So now we're looking for this area to give us that reaction higher. Ah. I don't know what the crack is with Euro at the minute, but I have the chunkiest spread going on. I don't know what's going on with that. We do have news soon though, don't we? We have news in 38 minutes. I mean, that shouldn't be affecting spread now. Beautiful move. Beautiful move. This is what I was saying, guys. We don't have to have everything aligned with our bias to have context within what price is likely to do. It's not about being correct, it's about having probability backing your ideas. And when your ideas are backed by probability, the likelihood of them working becomes a lot higher. So you can use these small shifts in price to do pretty much anything you like. You can use them to get in and out. You don't just trade from here, get out there, right? And that's more than a one-to-one. Or you can get into this position, mitigate risk, and then try and trade it to the high. Or you can look at it on a bigger scale and say, well, I'm going to try and ride it actually up to the 15-minute high, which is the high of the current order flow on the 15-minute. So just for example, if you look at this, that would give you a scenario like this. Now, of course, you cannot trade this kind of price action with a poor spread and commissions account. So if you want to be able to actually trade these kind of moves, like the tiny little 15-second moves and 1-minute moves, if you want to trade them proficiently, the only way to do that is get yourself a reputable broker with no spread. You can do that using the link in my description. Essentially, you can go to Ross-rfx, really reputable, well-known firm that offer zero spreads on the majority of their accounts. So head over there and check them out. If you do have an account already with Vantage, then sweet, you'll be able to do this as long as you've got your Raw account. If not, like I say, just go to the link in my bio or link in my description, so down below, grab yourself a Vantage account and you can follow on with the setups as well. Obviously you don't have to, you can use whatever accounts you want, but you want someone that's reputable, right? That's a beautiful little move. I'm just trying to trade it up to the high here. That's me, I'm just trying to go to the high. We'll see, we'll see. Who have we got in the chat today anyway? Who have we got in the chat? So for anyone that took that trade and went BE, likely you're out at break even now. We got the move, that's what we were looking for, is that initial move. I'm out at break even as well, so. Misses has stolen the music, obviously. We'll just have to raw dog it for a little while. We could actually get some tunes up on YouTube, couldn't we? Where are we? Okay, yeah, we're just gonna go no music because I don't want to get the what's it called? the live taken down. I want it to still be there so people can watch the recording. That's what I want. I want people to be able to watch the recording. You can just mark this up here. BE. I'll put the receipt there for anybody that wants to see it. Seed break even. Even though it is pushing off again, I'm not going to sit here and try and claim, oh, I'm still in it, or well, you know, I'm not going to try and do that because that's not the case. YouTube is actually terrible at putting you on to new people. It kind of hurts. It kind of hurts, I can't lie. Makes me just want to go live on TikTok, to be honest. "18 pages? Holy smokes. Is that a beautiful move, or is that a beautiful move? It's a pretty beautiful move, isn't it? Two seconds, guys. Yo, we're back. That was my pal saying, what you doing tonight? Because somebody has dropped out of a boxing event, and do you want their ticket? It's free. I was like, I guess so. Can't complain at that, can I? So yeah, that was a beautiful move. Let's take a second to look at that. That's a beautiful move. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Well, that's another good example. And like I said, I took a break even on this. I took a break even. A beautiful move, yeah, great. I didn't get to capitalize on it, but that's fine. Doesn't matter. So if you enjoyed that little breakdown, make sure you hit that follow button because there is going to be more breakdowns to come. And there will be, again, more setups moving forwards. We just need to wait for price to deliver what we would like to see within context. And then once that context is met, we can begin to follow the ideas that we would like price to play within. So it's not a case of forcing an entry, it's not a case of um, making sure we're correct. All it's a case of is having context around a particular movement and then allowing that movement to potentially play out into a developing move. So whether that be a downside or an upside move, whether it be a spring low that you're catching or a continuation of an already distributing or accumulating market, as long as we have context, we don't really have to force anything. It's all just there waiting for us to pick up on the key points that it's highlighting. Euro is literally taking off now. Beautiful move. Euro pushed up nicely, or Euro JPY pushed up nicely, and then it's come back down. Um, there's nothing really too crazy about it. Nothing to sort of rave home about, you know. It's just sitting in that stagnant little puddle there. Big sell-off for UJ. Remember, we do have news in 26 minutes, so make sure you stay clear of that news event. You don't want to be trading through news. It's a bit of a shitter. So yeah. Okay, we've shifted bullish on the 1 minute, so we're looking for a shift bearish on the one. Obviously, we don't have to have that. It's not necessarily going to go anywhere. But we'll see. We'll see what it wants to do. Gold on the 5 minute has closed bearish. Yeah, we've closed bearish. And then we've stayed bearish. So we're waiting for a shift on the 1 minute to essentially align what we have across the board here. So it's quite a big move that we'd need to see to validate that. But as always, we just wait. We don't force anything. We just wait for price action to deliver a certain thing. And if it does, then we follow it, right? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. You know why? I'm $1 million baby. Yeah, so that's probably going to take us out. It's fine. We kind of said that earlier anyway, didn't we? We expected to be out of it, but we stayed in somehow. Running it, I'm running up a check. Yeah, high. Go around my friend. All night long. What's in that thing? Got me losing my mind. I'm $1 million baby. Let's have a little peek at what's going on here at the King's Hall then. King's Hall. The date today, 24th. Yeah, apparently nothing. Can't lie, I'm not feeling this tune at all, mate. This will do. What, making 10 years? Checking the box. Where are you people? Yeah, out of that one. I just made him 1 year. Wait, what's happened? What happened there? I love the way no one said anything either, they just let it stay there. I just realised that that isn't the top either, is it? There we go. There we go. So still in the same situation here on gold. Only if you see it.
Feeling antisocial, I'm a single player. I've been spinning round in circles,
Feeling upside down.
trapping out the studio,
You'll find me there.
Got some gangsters in my circle, turn you inside out. Trips up in overseas, flipped on a couple G's, Frenchy, I can show you round. Yeah, I tripped off the melody, shit, that's my remedy. Floating on my waves, don't drown. We presidential, hope my brothers don't get lost in the street. I need a lawyer, paranoia is how I'm falling asleep. She loves like cocaine or gasoline, I taste on the teeth. My cliques and gangsters, but we're bankers if police don't believe. And when my bro got section, swear it hit emotionally. Ain't bound no nonsense, but my conscience wants my mind to be free. Was whipping Yola, but one day I know the coca will be. This life's so crazy, but my baby knows I'm trying, you see. Feeling antisocial, I'm a single player. I've been spinning round in circles, feeling upside down. Trapping out the studio, you'll find me there.
What's everyone up to this weekend anyway? This is the only thing with YouTube. YouTube is very low engagement. Like, we don't have any back and forth chit chat or anything like that, you know? I'm not saying that you have to chat. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, obviously, on TikTok, you get a lot more of that. So it makes it a lot easier to be sort of engaging, if you were. What's the time? 1:15. Okay, I'm thinking, to be honest, we do another 5 minutes here on YouTube, then we go TikTok, to be fair. I'm thinking that might be the gameplay. Yeah, alright, we're going to do that, I think, chat. I've changed my mind already. I think we're going to go straight over to TikTok. If you want to join us, all you need to do is search Ross-rfx on TikTok and you will find me there. It's been a pleasure as always, but I think our time is better spent on TikTok. So I'll see you all there. Make sure you hit that like